Hi guys, welcome back. We're back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about how you can filter out your order blocks. Right, a lot of people have been sending me messages on Telegram, and it seems a lot of you guys struggle to choose the right order blocks to trade from, and the order blocks that have a higher probability of giving you nice returns and very good accuracy. Right, so before we start, if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell icon to be the first to watch when we upload any new content. And don't forget to leave a like if you find this video useful. Right, so right in front of me right now, I have a checklist, a very simple checklist, right? But it's very important because this will help you filter out your order blocks, right? And also take very good trades. Right, so number one on your checklist has to be structure. Right, your structure is very important. Right, so in a scenario like this, what we're looking for, if we are looking at a down phase or a downtrend, what we basically want to see is lower lows, right, getting broken. Right, want to see lower lows getting broken in the market, giving you fresh zones. Right, so in this case, if we can look at this scenario that we have in front of us right now, we can see that we've got a lower low, lower high, and a lower low. So in this case, this lower low would be a fresh lower low, right? This area right here would be a fresh lower low, and that is exactly what we are looking for. Remember, we are only going to execute shorts. In this case, we are looking at a short scenario or a downtrend scenario. So what we're going to be looking for is short positions, but it is not as easy as it seems, right? There's a lot of other factors that you're going to look at. Okay, so now that you've identified a lower low, right, the second thing on your watch list is you need to identify a bank move. What do I mean by a bank move? This is your momentum, right? This is your momentum from a level, right? The only area that you should focus on is where you're going to find these momentum candles, right, after you have confirmed your structure and after you are trading away from the right zones, right? And I call these bank moves. These are your momentum levels. So what do I mean by bank moves? I'm just going to draw something very roughly here. Remember, in a down phase, what we're going to basically have is we're going to have a drop. This is your drop, and we're going to have the base. This is our base being created. All right, and then we then have another drop. I'm just going to clone this, another drop. Right, so we've got a drop, base, drop. Right, drop, base, drop. So in a drop, base, drop scenario, this is basically what we expect. Right, we've got a drop, base, drop. The area that we're going to be interested in is our base area. Why our base area? Because this is where we usually see or expect to see those bank moves, right? The momentum away from that, right? So what do I mean by momentum? Powerful moves or fast moves away from a base area. So this right here would be our bearish candle, right? This right here would be our bearish candle since we are looking at a short scenario. So this is our bearish candle, right? Why are we focusing on this area? Remember, we've got a drop, base, drop, and we've got a confirmation of a lower low. So what will happen after this is we then expect price to make its way back to the area, But how are we going to filter out this area? Number two, we are going to look at how much time did price spend at this certain level. Which level? The level where we have identified the momentum. All right, we're going to look at how much time did price spend at a level. So in this case, if we have identified the base, we have also identified the momentum, right? We've seen that definitely there is some bank moves at this area. What we're going to wait for, we're going to wait for price to give us an approach, right? After price has given us a lower low, remember this is a break in structure, we then wait for price, right, to make its way back to the area. Which area? The beginning of the momentum, right? And then we then expect price to go to the downside. Now, on your watch list, we're also going to look at the freshness of the level, right? How fresh a level is very important, guys. How fresh a level is very important, right? So we need to see this level being very fresh. What do we mean by a level being fresh? This means that this area has not been tested, right? This area has not been tested and it is still fresh, in line with the structure, right? So let's be practical. We're going to look at some pairs, right? And number one, what we're going to look at, remember there's a lot of things. You also need to understand your higher time frame structures, right? That is very important, your higher time frame structures, right? So you definitely need to understand what is happening in your higher time frame. So here's something very easy here. If we are looking at this scenario that we can see right here, we can clearly see that, all right, price has given us a reversal. How is this a reversal? We have got a rally, right? We've got a rally and we've got a base drop, all right, and then we have a drop. So this is a reversal, right? This is a reversal. So after a rally base drop, what we can identify is price played around this area. Remember, you need to look for those momentum candles. In this case, there was nothing. This is not something that I would look to trade, right? This is not something that I will be interested in trading. So what you can see is, as price moves down, right, price moves down, makes a move back, and finally we can see a momentum candle, right? We see a momentum candle, right? So after identifying the momentum candle, what do I want to see? Remember, we've got structure being broken. Remember, I did speak about structure. Number one, you need to understand your structure, right? Understanding your structure is really important, right? So what do we look at? We look at the structure. Structure. Very important, right? We're going to be focusing on that structure, right? Let me just zoom in. All right, we're going to be focusing, I think I was using the daily time frame. Okay, we're going to focus on the structure. That's one important thing, your structure, right? Without getting your structure right, right, you will not be able to execute your trades in the right market context. All right, so number one, structure. Let us go back to the H4. Now, what we can identify on the H4 is we have seen the momentum. Remember, I spoke about bank moves. So after identifying your bank moves, right, you're going to highlight that area. This is where we can identify a nice momentum candle. Right, this is where we can identify a nice momentum candle, and we can also see how price moved away from the area. And as price moved away from the area, breaking this structure, it also broke this structure. Right, can you see that? Can you identify that? Right, it has broken structure, it has moved away from the area with very good momentum. Right, so what do we look at now? Time at a level and the freshness of the level. If we can go back to our example, what we are going to see is price did not really spend much time, right, on this level right here. Did not really spend much time. Price moved away, and this level was very fresh, right? So after this happened, we then wait for our price approach back to that area. As you can see, price then made its way back into this area. And for those who have been following me, you know that we combine supply and demand, or order flow rather, with BTMM. And as you can see, what we can identify here is a nice M formation, right? And this M formation can also be broken down, right? Can also be broken down. This is one of the secrets most people don't know, or rather most people don't look at, right? As price is now back into my area of interest, right? What do I need? If you are really conservative, you can wait for the same thing, right? Look at how price moved away from it. What do you wait for? You wait for a structure breaker first. Price has broken structure, and then look at that. Price makes its way back, giving you the second leg of the small M, and then look at how price moves away from that area. Now, I know most of you guys might be thinking that I'm cherry picking. I can go random, and right, remember, you will not find this. It's everywhere, guys. It's everywhere, but it will not be easy if you don't have much knowledge on this. Right, if you don't have much knowledge on this, it will definitely not be easy, right? But it's all about understanding your market context. Just by looking at this chart, I'm sure you can already see what I am talking about. right? Here's another long scenario. What can we identify? We can identify a break of structure. So what do we see? We identify a higher high in this market context. Remember, I'm just going to the H4, but there's other things that you need to focus on in your shorter time frames, right? There's other things you focus on your shorter time frames. So can you see that from this area, after this higher high, price makes its way down, and we can identify a nice momentum candle. After we have identified the nice momentum candle, what is the structure saying? We have confirmed the structure is to the upside. We've got a structure breaker, high, right? We've got the nice momentum candle going up, which also breaks structure. So we've got a higher high. That's our main high. We also have a higher high because we're interested in this entry. Now, what do we wait for? We look at the momentum. Do you have momentum? Yes. Right. Fresh bank moves. Yes, we can see it. How long did price take to leave this area? Not very long, right? As you can see, it shows you about what this area or the orders or the unfilled orders that are at these areas, right? And as you can see, price makes its way back down to that area, and the same momentum that we identified here is the same momentum that we can identify there, right? And I'm not cherry picking any pair. We can use a different time frame. We can go to the daily, right? We can go to the daily. All right, here's something. All right, here's something. I mean, here's something that happened here. It's everywhere if you know what to look for. Now, price was moving down, right? And as price moved down, we have identified the area, right? The bank area or the bank moves. Right? I call it the bank moves, right? So here's the area we have identified. Fine. How did price leave the area? We can see the momentum away from it, right? This is still fresh. We can see the momentum away from it, right? And the fact that price moved down here, if you look to your left, right, we broke this structure. We broke that structure, and because of that area, we also broke this structure. So a very important area that we had right there. Fine.